Welcome to the last discussion video on the subject Globalization and Public Administration. We now turn to the last topic about Unit 5, the Philippines' response and initiatives towards globalization and COVID-19 pandemic. Sit back, relax, enjoy as we go through the topic. This is our discussion flow. We will tackle globalization in the Philippine context and the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the Philippines economy. Globalization in the Philippine context. Here are the effects of globalization in our country. In terms of trade openness, from the 1990s to the 2000s, trade openness in the Philippines improved from 88.1% to 101.0% of the country's gross domestic product. In terms of financial openness, the country's total capital flows increased from 3.1% of GDP in the 1990s to 3.4% of GDP in the 2000s. In terms of migration, the ratio of Philippine migrants to the country's total population went up from 3.5% in 1995 to 5.4% in 2017. In terms of distribution of welfare, there are no substantial evidence for the impact of globalization on inequality and poverty has so far been found. And in terms of the impact of external forces, due to the Philippines' high degree of trade integration and significant role in international migration, the country is likely to be affected by external noise mainly through the overseas Filipino remittances, offshoring or outsourcing, and trade channels. And then we turn to the impact of COVID-19 on the Philippine economy. So due to the COVID-19, imports and exports declined by 24.7% from a year ago's $89.6 billion. Poverty simulations suggest that the COVID-19 pandemic would increase the number of poor in the country. The longer the economy remains in recession, the more vulnerable it will be to the scarring effects from the pandemic, with business closures mounting and unemployment at elevated levels. The second wave of COVID-19 in the Philippines has forced a U-turn in the government's reopening plans, threatening the durability of the recovery heading into the second quarter. So that's it. We have finished our discussion. We now turn to Activity 1. You are to research about the positive and negative impacts of globalization on the economy of the Philippines. Good luck! For your main task or your final output for this subject, you are to create an advocacy video instead of a position paper. As a class, make an advocacy video on the theme Working Together for Social Inclusion and Equity in the Age of Uncertainty. The video must be at least 3 to 5 minutes and the idea should be clearly presented. Everyone should contribute to the advocacy. Good luck and God bless. So that's the end of our series of discussion video in this subject amidst the new normal. I hope that you have learned a lot and I hope that we will see each other in face-to-face sometime in the future. Thank you and God bless.